Three artists decided to create a cozy atmosphere for their viewers at a gallery in Abuja. Let's take a look at some of the works they displayed.
It's the first Abuja edition of this event tagged Atmosphere, which is a fusion of paintings, fabrics and other works of art produced by contemporary artists Sylvester Aguda, Esther Akinduro and Ikwen Akwiti in the nation's capital.
It's just to pick on the common elements of what we interfere and interface with every day, just translate them in a way that explores the versatility of those elements and just bring out your creative juices, and there's so much that we can do with things that we see on a daily basis. So that's where this idea came from, like an interpretation, and it keeps evolving, it keeps changing, because we are inexhaustible in terms of what we can do, what we can interpret, So depending on what season of our lives we're in, we can actually bring out things that we don't even know we have inside. So for me, that was the challenge here, to just take simple things and make them very special.
Three of them thrill art lovers with their different flavors. Sylvester is a collage artist. In his latest project, he's experimenting with wallpaper in his works of art.
People say art is not complete until people talk about it. So we have done something together as a collaboration. Esther is somebody who is into paints. She paints, she consults for painters and all that, for people who want to build their homes. But we have this idea where people build homes, the big beautiful paintings of their homes, but they don't put in African art. So here we're trying to do something to tell people that you can put African art in your house. We are also telling people that you should wear made in Nigeria outfits. Our fashion house is changing. We have very creative people. So we have IK Pen, who is in the house today. And one of the interesting things she's done is to use wallpaper to make a dress. And I think that's remarkable. I've also been able to use wallpaper and textile and paint to do my artworks. So we've created a fusion between the three of us. This has African patterns and shapes, and it has a collaboration of ink. I've been able to infuse ink, I've been able to infuse textile, and I've been able to infuse paper, which is cardboard. And it has come out really nice. If you see it at a glance, you think it's a painting, but it's actually a collage. And I have another one that promotes the unity of Africa, especially Nigeria. I have different tribes, musicians from different tribes in the country being dressed in a way that they complement each other. I have a Hausa man wearing a Yoruba man's hat. I have an Igbo man wearing, So the whole thing is to create an intermarriage, to say there is peace in unity. So that artwork actually stands to promote peace.
A painter and wallpaper specialist, that's whom Esther is, and she blends several materials together to create her pieces.
It's really for show, but if you want to wear it, we can just look around how we can, reinforce it. So that I was inspired from somewhere. Actually, I went for an exhibition in France, and there was this company that I saw something they did that was very similar. So I was like, you know what? These are things that ordinarily people won't think of wearing wallpapers, But I remember that when we were children, we used to have, when you want to learn tailoring, you have to use the paper that is used to pack cement. That's what you use to practice before you now translate that into a fabric. So that was also coming from there. I just felt, just do something out of the ordinary with this stuff. Everybody knows wallpaper goes on the wall. So I'm like, how about I dress the wallpaper? These are the kind of thoughts that I'm talking about.
While Ikwen is a fashion designer who transforms wallpapers to dresses.
We are a brand that actually pride ourselves in what we do. We love how Africa is becoming the next big thing, especially when it comes to art and inspiration. We source our fabrics locally, and we look for ways and means in which to make them more modern, contemporary, make them presentable in such a way that to these women or to these fashion enthusiasts can relate with them.
Ike Pen is a seamstress and she makes very nice dresses. She uses cloth. And Esther is into paints, you know, and I'm a collage artist. And what I've done here today is to see how we can blend in the three. And we've successfully done that.
So, one material is synonymous in all their works of art, although interpreted in diverse ways.
Majorly, we worked with cardboards, we worked with wallpapers, we worked with fabrics and paints. I mean, those are things that everybody has access to, but we've been able to elevate them to a place where they become very special pieces. Like if you look at one of the paintings there, it's made of fabric, but it's the map of the world. You know, it just gives you the kind of thoughts that the artist himself was really, you know, going through. So these are things that, you know, might seem like they're simple, but they take a lot of thought to actually come, you know, to come to this place.
The trio intend to take their exhibition to different parts of the country.
And we're gradually getting to the home stretch, but we won't leave the scene without revealing who our artist for this week is.
Francis Oladele hails from Oyo State, southwest Nigeria. He caught his feet as a photographer, then later became a photojournalist with the Daily Times before traveling to the United States in 1955, where he studied photography at the New York Institute of Photography. He returned to Nigeria to work as the pioneer African head of the film unit of the then Western Nigerian Television. His search for adventure saw him leave the station to establish what has become known as the Kalipeni Nigeria Film Limited on September the 21st, 1965. He complemented this effort with the establishment of Kungi's Club in Ibadan, Oyo State, which became a rallying point for artists like John Pepe Clark, Wole Soyinka, Dapo Adeluba, amongst others. Apart from being a pioneer in the film industry in Nigeria, Francis Oladele achieved another first by deciding to make films based on the works of internationally acclaimed Nigerian writers. By indicating a creative preference for historical epics, he also established for the Nigerian film industry the vital link between great literary works and film. This adaptation from novels into the screen not only assures feature filmmakers in Nigeria of a storehouse of material as manifested by the prolific output of Nigerian writers, but also serves as an inspiration for future writers who can now write with a wider and more immediate cinema audiences in mind. Francis Oladele's first film, Kungi's Harvest, which was done in 1970, based on Wole Soyinka's dramatic epic of the same title. It was shot on location in Nigeria with a Nigerian cast and a mixed technical crew of foreigners and Nigerians. It was directed by Afro-American actor Ozzie Davids. Oladele followed this trend with the production of Things Fall Apart in 1971, also based on a blend of Chinua Achebe's novels, Things Fall Apart and No Longer at Ease, shot under the title Bullfrog in the Sun, due to the raging civil war at the time. Telling folk stories for Nigeria's rich culture and tapping from minds of writers has become a major trend in the movie industry till date. So even though his candle went off on June the 22nd, 2015, Francis Oladele's legacy lives on.
You can enjoy Art House on any of these platforms.
And with that, we draw the curtain on this week's edition of Art House. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And do remember to see this edition or any other edition of Art House on our YouTube page. I'm Melinda Akinlami.